Hello, Chris.
Hey Ben,
Would you like to record a podcast with me?
I would love to. Let me see if I can bring up the question I was going to ask you for this mini-sode.
Ooh, a question.
I do have this question. Where's my question? This is a question I legitimately thought about and legitimately asked my wife, and she gave a great answer. I'm not going to tell you because I don't remember exactly what she said, but I thought, what would Ben think about this, and what would Ben say? So, here's your question. You ready?
I'm all ears.
If you were producing a animated slash live action Hungry Hungry Hippos movie,
Whoa.
who would you cast as your four hungry hippos?
That's a great question. Hmm. I don't know. There's a lot of potential there, isn't there?
There really is. Actually, I Googled this, trying to figure out if they actually did have a Hungry Hungry Hippos movie in production.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently, back in 2012, it was seriously considered and talked about
Mm-hmm.
doing one. I don't know. I forget who owns the rights. It's like Hasbro. I think Hasbro owns the rights
Yeah.
because they were. It was back when game movies were kind of popular with Battleship,
Mm-hmm.
and there's some other video game movies that were coming out that were quite popular.
And I guess
Um,
Transformers, also a big
yeah,
Hasbro property.
Transform GI Joe was coming out,
Yeah, G.I. Joe came
like
back.
these kind of these toy world movies. So Hungry Hungry Hippos was talked about and just didn't get past that production stage.
Hmm.
At least not that I know of, anyway. At least not the quick Google could tell me.
Yeah, it's,
So
it's interesting. We have there's some big successes in that vein, but there's also some big notorious failures.
yeah,
So
like
it's
Battleship.
like Battleship.
I think that not single handedly. That pretty well destroyed. Was it Taylor Kurtz? Is that his name?
Don't know.
He also did John Carter,
Mm-hmm.
and he was in the Wolverine Origins movie as Gambit. So
It
yeah,
slowed him down a little bit.
he had a few bad films. I guess there aren't bad films because I did like John Carter, but films that didn't catch on and kind of didn't get him the success that he really deserved. I think he did a really good job in those films.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't
Just not
they weren't the popular, yeah, they weren't the popular films.
weren't the hits that they needed to be. Especially John Carter. Man,
Did
spent
you
a
see John Carter?
lot of money on that.
Oh yeah, did you see it?
I have not seen it. I've read the book.
The books are great.
Mm-hmm. They're good fun.
Yeah, very great turn of the century adventure
Mm-hmm.
sci-fi.
The film.
So you,
Would you say the film's a worthy successor to those books?
um, well, I saw the movie before I read the book, so
Gotcha.
I don't know. I thought the film was fun, but I think they could go back and redo them, and it would be I think they could make it better.
Yeah, it definitely has potential. It's just never really come out and done it.
Ben, you still haven't answered my question.
Yeah, I artfully dodged that to give myself some time to think. I mean, it depends on what kind of story you're trying to tell. I feel like there's a great Hungry Hippos heist movie where
Okay, I hadn't thought about that.
they have to steal what are they called, the little things that they eat?
Marvels,
Marbles. And there's the golden one that you catch to win.
right?
So there's
At
like
least
a
that's the
heist
new version.
movie where they have to steal the golden pebble or the golden marble
Okay,
rather.
that's a take I hadn't expected that one. My I I mentioned I asked my wife this question, and she had a great idea
Hmm.
of a eating contest It would be animated.
Mm-hmm.
It would be an eating contest, and it would be like, what is it, Dancing with the Stars or American Idol type of deal. And they had judges would be played by, of course, famous chefs, and then you had four contestants.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, she was really good at this game.
So they would be rivals rather than a team in my
Yeah.
heist version.
There was some interplay with like some sort of family rivalry going on too. I don't remember all the details of her plot line. But
Man,
there
she's
was
got it worked out.
Yeah, you'd have to ask her next time you come up.
On our spin-off podcast, Leah Splains.
That is a great idea.
Now I've mentioned it on the podcast, so it has to happen now.
It has to happen sometime. But no.
Yeah, and the characters. I feel like if you were to do it, it would best be done in the style of the Blue Sky Productions animated films. So the Peanuts movie.
Didn't they do? Oh, I thought they worked on Ice Age. Maybe they didn't.
Yeah,
they did. Okay.
Yeah, same people. So I think that style would suit a Hungry Hippos movie very well. But the beauty of it is, because it would be animated, you could get almost anybody to play the parts, depending on which direction you took the story.
That's true. What do you think of a Hungry Hippos, but in the style of like the new Lion King?
Like more photorealistic?
Like photorealistic, but of course obviously animated.
I don't know. I feel like that would lose some of the charm, the potential fun.
Like the green and orange hippo kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what would a photorealistic green hippo?
What would that look like?
What does that look like, and why does
I would watch that, I think.
I might watch that on a plane.
If you had like a 12-hour flight, you'd be like, there's nothing on, really?
I've got a 12-hour flight, and there's not much else to watch. I don't know. It has a lot of potential, certainly. More potential than a lot of things that they've made movies out of. Like, for example, the Emoji Movie.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
I don't plan on seeing it.
Maybe there's someone out there who really enjoyed it. I don't. Patrick Stewart was in it. I did hear that.
That's true. He was the poop emoji.
He was the poop emoji. So, I mean, it can't be that bad if Patrick Stewart plays the poop emoji.
I can't even believe that I'm saying those words out loud.
On a podcast, no less.
Patrick Stewart as poop.
As the poop.
Yeah, so I guess I haven't really answered your question as to who my cast would be, but
yeah, and we're getting down to the wire here. This is towards the end of these minisodes. They're not supposed to be too much longer than this. So, are you going to even answer the question?
I'm just going to stick with my theory that it's a heist movie.
It's a heist movie. Okay.
And I'm going to cast...
It's like an Ocean's Hippo.
Ocean's Hippo. And I'm going to cast Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, obviously.
Of course.
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
Breaking Bad. Jesse Pinkman.
Okay. Yeah, okay. Aaron Paul.
So I've got them. Probably Kevin Hart, because he's in everything that these days.
That's true.
And he would fit with the vibe. And then I need somebody who's on par with Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. And maybe a female action star, so Charlize Theron.
Okay. So you have The Rock and Charlize Theron as rival hippos that come together for a heist?
Yep.
Sounds like one of the Fast and Furious movies.
But with hippos.
No, with hippos.
It's like the Fast and the Furious, but there's no cars, just hippos.
Okay. And they have to steal some sort of gold ball.
Yes, exactly.
I probably would watch that.
It's called The Hungry and the Hippo.
Hungry and the Hippo. Okay. I might watch that.
Do you have a list of names?
I did not come up with a list of names.
Oh, phooey. After you put me on the spot and made me come up with a list.
I thought it was a good conversation.
Yeah, it is. It's a great conversation. I love it.
Although I suggested to my wife possibly casting Rebel Wilson, but my wife Leah is not a big Rebel Wilson fan, so she did not go with her. Although,
it would just depend on if you went more. I was taking it more of like action comedy, but if you wanted to play it more like straight comedy, she's in the new Cats, I think.
She is in the new Cats,
along with a lot of other people.
Yeah, or would you? I've never actually seen the original theatrical production of Cats. So I don't really know what it's about. Would you recommend it?
I think there's cats in it.
Oh, so you've not seen it either?
No, I'm not really a fan. It's
okay.
It's a bit out of my purview, I'm afraid. But I've heard all the songs.
Well, that's more than I have. So I don't know. I like musicals. Maybe I'd go watch that. I would watch that. So maybe we would do a musical Hippos, Hungry Hippo musical.
See, there's so much potential for this idea.
There is. There's a lot there.
You could do a Hungry Hippos franchise and do a different genre every time.
That would be great. Like a Hungry Hippos MCU kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a film for every hippo, and then in the end, they all come up together. They assemble. Hippos assemble.
Or
what would you call that?
What's a franchise where it's always the same characters, but it's not a continuing story? It just kind of resets every time. Do you know what I mean?
Like a sequel?
No. Oh gosh, I can't think of a series that does it.
I guess Fast and Furious, right? Wasn't it?
No, I think that has kind of a story that's been going the whole time.
Going through the whole thing?
Yeah.
Well, they tried to do it the other way with Tokyo Drift.
Right, and that was kind of a different...
Yeah.
I'm not thinking of a good example.
Well.
But basically it would always be the same characters, but they'd have no prior knowledge. It would be like rebooting it every time. But each time it's a totally different franchise. Or a different genre.
Okay.
So the first time around would be, say, a heist Ocean's Hippos. And then next time it might be Hungry Hippos in space. And then next time it'll be like a Hungry Hippos Victorian era murder mystery.
I can see that. There is really a lot out there to work with.
There's a lot of ideas. Listeners, what are your ideas for Hungry Hippos, potential franchises and motion pictures and comics?
Let us know what your Hungry Hippo movie would be, and I don't know, put it on a thread on Twitter, or Facebook, or if you want to have a more visual way to show it, put it on Instagram, or just email it to us, and we will read it out on the show.
Yes, we will. Thanks for listening, and we will talk to you next time on the Popstorian Podcast.